You hear the toaster pop on a crisp morning. You pull out that steaming, golden slice of bread. You grab a knife, slather it with butter, watch it melt right into the hot pores, and take a massive bite. Stop right there. Look at what you are doing. Eating bread straight out of the toaster while it is steaming hot is a biological tragedy. It is the exact equivalent of buying a rare, expensive medicine, boiling it until all the active ingredients are destroyed, and drinking the leftover dirty water. You are actively incinerating the value. That steaming hot starch acts like pure, unadulterated sugar in your bloodstream. It floods your delicate system with rapid glucose before your body even knows what has hit it. This forces your entire metabolic engine into a state of absolute panic. We all do this because hot bread smells absolutely incredible. Nature hardwired your human brain to crave warm, instantly digesting energy. It feels deeply comforting, especially on a cold morning, so naturally you assume it is the correct way to eat it. It is not. By the end of this video, I will show you the exact time you need to let it sit. I will also reveal a bizarre 10-second freezer hack that permanently alters the molecular chemistry of the bread. This specific preparation method turns an ordinary food into a powerful biological ignition key, unlocking your body's ability to restore itself. To understand why hot bread is such a profound trap, we need to look at the microscopic physics of wheat. When you expose flour to high heat inside a toaster, the complex starch molecules swell up and violently burst open. In clinical terms, this is known as starch gelatinization. Think of it like unzipping a tightly packed suitcase. Because the suitcase is wide open, the digestive enzymes in your saliva instantly grab all that exposed sugar the moment it hits your stomach. Your blood glucose rockets up in a matter of minutes. Your pancreas is immediately forced into overdrive to handle the sudden emergency. Big mistake. Your pancreas has to pump out a heavy, exhausting load of insulin just to clean up the sudden mess in your bloodstream. Over time, this constant daily demand completely exhausts your pancreas. It packs stubborn, inflammatory, visceral fat tightly around your vital organs. This massive insulin spike is always followed by a brutal crash. It leaves you feeling fatigued, irritable, and craving more carbohydrates just 2 hours later. You assume you were just getting older and losing your energy. You are not. You are simply experiencing the harsh biological consequence of eating hot starch. But here is the most dangerous part of this entire scenario. People assume the bread itself is the villain. They cut out carbohydrates entirely and suffer from miserable energy crashes. The bread itself is not the problem, the temperature is. Let us break down what happens when you eat that hot bread day after day. Your body becomes trapped in a relentless cycle of spikes and crashes that drains your vitality. You eat toast at 7 in the morning, and by 10 o'clock you are reaching for a biscuit or a second cup of coffee. This is not a lack of willpower. This is basic, undeniable biology. Your pancreas is working far too hard just to manage a single slice of hot toast. Think of it like throwing dry paper onto a campfire. It flares up bright and hot for a few seconds, but then it is gone. You are left cold and searching for more fuel to keep the fire burning. When you force your pancreas to work this hard every single morning, you set the stage for long-term metabolic exhaustion. You are essentially wearing out your own engine. The good news is that you can fix this without giving up your morning toast. You just need to change the thermal state of the bread before you eat it. You must turn that flash paper starch into a slow-burning log. As that slice of toast cools on the kitchen bench, a fascinating, entirely natural process occurs. It is called retrogradation. The unzipped starch molecules rapidly snap back together as the heat escapes into the air. They form a rigid, locked crystalline structure through tightly bound hydrogen bonds. This new structure physically pushes water out of the bread. It goes from being a flimsy paper bag of sugar to a locked steel safe. Your human stomach acids simply cannot break through this steel safe. Your digestive enzymes bounce right off it. So instead of flooding your blood with rapid sugar, the starch bypasses your stomach and small intestine entirely. It travels safely down into your lower gut. Put a plus in the comments if you have always believed bread was just a sugar bomb, or a minus if you already knew about cooling it. Letting the bread cool down effectively locks up the sugar and saves your pancreas from daily exhaustion. You avoid the sudden spike. You avoid the miserable afternoon crash. This simple act of waiting changes the entire destiny of your breakfast. When the starch is locked up, your body has to work slowly and steadily to process your meal. You get a slow, sustained release of energy that keeps you vibrant. You feel full and satisfied for hours on end. You can power through your morning tasks without the mid-morning slump that plagues so many adults over 50. Think about the traditional ways our ancestors ate bread. They did not have pop-up toasters or microwaves. Bread was often eaten at room temperature, straight from the larder. It was dense, chewy, and naturally rich in resistant starch. We have engineered our modern eating habits for convenience and immediate pleasure. We want everything hot, soft, and ready in 2 minutes. But our digestive systems have not evolved to handle this rapid delivery of starch. By letting your toast cool, you are stepping back into a biological rhythm that your body actually understands. You are giving your digestive system the exact time it needs to do its job properly. In a few minutes, I will reveal why the freezer is your absolute best friend here. But first, look at where this locked safe actually travels. So, you have successfully saved your pancreas from exhaustion. But the real biological miracle does not happen in your blood. It happens quietly in the dark, forgotten corners of your lower intestine. People wrongly believe all carbohydrates just turn into fat around your waistline. That is false. Cooled, resistant starch does not feed you. It feeds your good gut bacteria. You have trillions of microbes living in your colon, and they desperately need specific fuel to survive and thrive. When this locked starch reaches your colon intact, your beneficial bacteria aggressively ferment it into butyrate. This is a highly valuable short-chain fatty acid. Think of butyrate as a soothing, microscopic anti-inflammatory balm. It coats your inner ecosystem and calms systemic irritation. It directly fuels your colonocytes, which are the delicate cells lining your colon. It patches up microscopic leaks in your intestinal walls. This prevents leaky gut syndrome and supports a highly robust immune system. In my years of practice, I have seen this one simple shift completely change lives. Take a gentleman I worked with recently who struggled with severe daily fatigue. Let us call him Arthur. Arthur is a 62-year-old bloke who loved his morning toast. He would eat 4 slices of white supermarket bread, hot out of the toaster, smothered in jam. Every single afternoon, right around 3 o'clock, Arthur would hit a brick wall. His energy would completely vanish. His brain fog was thick, and his joints felt stiff and uncooperative. He relied on sugary biscuits just to stay awake in his armchair. He thought it was just a normal, unavoidable part of getting older. I told him to make one simple change to his morning routine. I did not tell him to stop eating bread entirely. I simply asked him to swap his hot white bread for properly cooled sourdough. He was highly skeptical at first. He loved his hot toast and could not understand how temperature would make a difference, but he agreed to try it for 1 month. The results were absolutely clear within a single week. His brutal daily afternoon energy crashes vanished completely. His brain fog lifted, leaving him sharp and focused. His constant cravings for sweet biscuits disappeared because his body was finally nourished. This did not happen because he suddenly ate fewer calories or went on a strict diet. It happened because his gut bacteria were finally getting the exact fuel they needed. His body was able to keep his blood sugar perfectly stable all day long. His waistline even began to shrink because his insulin levels dropped low enough to allow fat burning. He stopped fighting his biology. He started working directly with it. Most people think that eating a bowl of dry bran cereal gives them all the fiber they need, but there are very different types of fiber. Roughage simply pushes waste through your system. It acts like a stiff broom sweeping a floor. Resistant starch is entirely different. It is a prebiotic, fermentable fiber. It does not just push waste out, it acts as a premium fertilizer for the microscopic ecosystem living inside you. When you cultivate a healthy garden of microbes, your entire physiology shifts. Your digestion smooths out beautifully. Your immune system becomes resilient against daily threats. You sleep better, and your daily vitality is restored. All of this stems from the simple choice to let your food cool down. When your gut bacteria are fed properly with resistant starch, they send powerful signals to your brain. They tell you that you are full. They regulate your appetite naturally. They even produce neurotransmitters that support a calm and positive mood. You are quite literally feeding your internal pharmacy. Most adults over 50 walk around today with a starving microbiome. They eat plenty of food, but none of it reaches the colon intact. It is all absorbed far too early as simple sugars in the small intestine. By cooling your toast, you are sending a vital care package straight to the microbes that keep you healthy. Arthur fixed his energy just by waiting 10 minutes, but all of this biological magic is completely destroyed if you make one fatal mistake with how you store the loaf. Storing your bread on the kitchen counter is a massive missed biological opportunity. Supermarkets desperately want you to keep buying fresh loaves every few days. They load their breads with artificial preservatives just so they can sit on the shelf without spoiling. Have you ever caught a supermarket tricking you with fake health labels? Tell me below. The scientific truth is if you place your bread in the freezer first, you unlock a hidden benefit. The freezing process creates tiny, sharp ice crystals deep within the bread. These crystals permanently change the cellular structure of the starch matrix. Remember the freezer hack I mentioned at the start? This is it. You must never store bread in the fridge.
The fridge simply makes it stale by drying it out at the wrong temperature. You must freeze it solid. When you freeze the bread, toast it straight from the freezer, and then let it thoroughly cool, you trigger a powerful double dose of retrogradation. You physically multiply the amount of resistant starch. The severe drop in temperature forces the starch molecules to bind even tighter than before. It is a one-way chemical street. Freezing your loaf turns an ordinary, everyday carbohydrate into a potent, gut-friendly superfiber. Let us look at the practical side of this brilliant habit. When you bring a fresh loaf of sourdough home from the bakery, slice it up immediately. Place the slices in an airtight container or a high-quality freezer bag. Put a small piece of baking paper between each slice so they do not stick together. Put it straight into the freezer. You now have a steady supply of bread that will never go moldy. More importantly, you have primed the starch for maximum digestive benefits. When you wake up in the morning, you just pull out a solid frozen slice. You drop it straight into the toaster. You do not need to thaw it first. The intense heat of the toaster will do that job for you. But remember, the toasting process unzips the starch all over again. That is exactly why the cooling phase is absolutely non-negotiable. The freeze, toast, cool method is the ultimate biological hack for bread lovers. It takes zero extra effort on your part. It saves you money because you never have to throw away stale bread again, yet it transforms a simple slice of toast into a functional food that protects your metabolic health. You have successfully multiplied the resistant starch. But wait until you see the catastrophic mistake people make the moment the bread leaves the toaster. You pull the hot toast from the machine and immediately slather it in cheap margarine or processed seed oils. Stop doing this. Because the hot gelatinized starch opens the biological door for rapid absorption, it drags those oxidized, inflammatory fats straight into your bloodstream. This directly damages your endothelium. That's the incredibly delicate inner lining of your blood vessels. Imagine taking coarse, gritty sandpaper and violently rubbing it along the inside of a soft garden hose. That's exactly what industrial seed oils do to your arteries when they hitch a ride on hot, rapidly digesting starch. This constant inflammation attracts cholesterol to patch up the damage, which slowly restricts your blood flow. You must swap the artificial spreads for real grass-fed butter or a generous drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. Real, natural products are hard to find now. Where are you watching from, and what do they cost in your city? You apply these healthy, protective fats strictly after the toast has properly cooled. While your blood vessels are busy fighting off those artificial fats, your metabolism is still desperately looking for a reliable way to steady your energy. Think about how margarine and industrial seed oils are actually manufactured. Oils like canola, sunflower, and safflower are extracted in large industrial factories using harsh chemical solvents. They are heated to severe temperatures that destroy any natural value. They are bleached and deodorized just to hide the rancid smell. They are rubbish compared to the real, wholesome fats our bodies evolved to process. Grass-fed butter, on the other hand, is a brilliant natural source of fat-soluble vitamins. It contains butyrate, the exact same soothing compound your gut bacteria produce. Extra virgin olive oil is packed with potent antioxidants and polyphenols. These natural fats act as a protective shield for your blood vessels. When you pair properly cooled, resistant starch with high-quality natural fats, you create the perfect metabolic meal. The resistant starch feeds your gut, while the healthy fats provide slow, steady energy for your brain. You feel clear-headed. You feel physically strong. You are no longer riding the exhausting blood sugar roller coaster. You are fueling your body like a well-oiled machine. Now, a practical problem naturally arises in the kitchen. Spreading cold, hard butter onto cooled toast is frustrating. It tears the bread apart and ruins the texture. To solve this, you must store your grass-fed butter correctly. Keep a small portion of it out on the kitchen counter in a sealed butter bell. This keeps it at a perfect, spreadable room temperature without it spoiling. When your sourdough has cooled for 10 minutes, it will be firm and sturdy. The room temperature butter will glide on perfectly. You get a thick, satisfying layer of healthy fat that does not immediately melt into a greasy puddle. It tastes infinitely better, and it actively protects your arteries. Your blood vessels are now protected. But to truly lock down your blood sugar, you need to understand the exact timing of the cooling process. Here is exactly how we lock down your blood sugar safely and effectively. The protocol is called the 10-minute cooling rule. You take your frozen slice of bread and put it straight into the toaster. Once it pops up golden and crisp, do not put it flat on a plate. If you do, it will sweat, trap moisture underneath, and go completely soggy. Stand it up vertically on a wire cooling rack. Let the air freely circulate around it. Wait exactly 10 minutes. This allows the heat to escape completely. The retrogradation process fully locks the starch molecules into that impenetrable steel safe. By the way, do you store your bread in the fridge or on the counter? Let us debate in the comments. During those 10 minutes, you can easily go about your morning routine. Make a cup of coffee, fry an egg. The time passes quickly, and the biological payoff is immense. To strongly amplify this cooling effect, you must use the ultimate biological catalyst, acetic acid. We talked about the freezer hack earlier, but combining it with true sourdough is the ultimate biological ignition key. Buy genuine, slow-fermented sourdough bread. True sourdough is made with a wild yeast starter and active lactic acid bacteria. The natural, organic acids found in real sourdough act as a strong biological brake pedal for your entire digestive system. They lower the glycemic index of the bread significantly. They actively break down phytic acid. Phytic acid is an anti-nutrient that normally blocks your body from absorbing goodness. By breaking it down, essential minerals like zinc, iron, and magnesium become highly bioavailable to your body. They slow down the starch breakdown even further and keep you feeling full for hours on end. Finding a real sourdough loaf requires a bit of effort. Supermarkets often sell fake sourdough to unsuspecting customers. They just add commercial vinegar to regular industrial dough to mimic the sour taste. This does not give you the biological benefits. You need to read the ingredients carefully. A true sourdough loaf contains only 3 things: flour, water, and salt. There should be no commercial yeast, no chemical preservatives, and no added vital wheat gluten. Visit a local independent bakery in your town. Ask the baker how long they ferment their dough. A good, traditional sourdough ferments for at least 24 hours. This long, slow fermentation process does the hard work of pre-digesting the complex proteins, including the gluten. This is exactly why many people who feel bloated and sluggish after eating standard supermarket bread can digest real sourdough without any issues at all. You now possess the complete, scientifically backed biological blueprint. Let us review the steps one more time to ensure you get this exactly right. Freeze the loaf the moment you bring it home from the bakery. Toast it straight from the solid ice. Put it standing up on a wire cooling rack. Wait exactly 10 minutes for the steam to vanish and the structure to lock. Add real, high-quality grass-fed butter or extra virgin olive oil only after the bread is cool to the touch. You do not have to give up your favorite slice of bread. You simply have to respect the underlying physics of how your human body actually processes it. You are no longer eating an inflammatory blood sugar bomb. You are eating a powerful precision tool.
It feeds your gut microbiome. It lowers systemic inflammation. It actively protects your waistline from stubborn visceral fat. Try this remarkably simple cooling method the very next time you make your morning breakfast. Your pancreas, your delicate gut lining, and your daily energy levels will thank you for it. Keep looking after your body. Make smart, informed choices about your food to support a vibrant life. This information is strictly educational to support your daily vitality. Never change your doctor's medical treatment without their consent. If this topic interested you, you will love this one too. Check out our other great video about never eat bread straight from the toaster. Do this instead, exposing how hot starches cause massive blood sugar spikes and why letting toast cool first creates resistant starch that feeds your gut and stops visceral fat. See you next time.